JB. He forces it over Matthews. Splash!
In 2023, Jaylen Brown signed the largest contract in NBA history. A 5-year, $304 million contract, which was later reduced to $285 million. But if we look back at the largest contracts in the decades before, something doesn't quite add up. The largest payday in the 80s was Patrick Ewing. The 90s, Michael Jordan. 2000s, KG. The 2010s, Kobe. 2020s, thus far, Steph Curry. Now, if you look closely, you'll see a pattern. Every single one of these guys were top 3 players in the league when they signed their contracts. But Jaylen Brown isn't top 3 in the league. He isn't even the best Jaylen in the league. Damn! He had the largest contract in NBA history, but just a year after Brown signed his piece of paper, his teammate Tatum signed an even bigger contract. A 5-year, $315 million contract, and he's just 19. Now, that said, Jaylen Brown is set to be the 10th highest earning player of the 2024 to 2025 season, and didn't even crack the top 25 in 2023. Meanwhile, Tatum's new contract is $120 million more than the last 5-year contract he signed. This insane pay increase brings one very important question. What does this actually mean for the Boston Celtics? Is this current steamrolling 3-point barrage shooting team facing an epic downfall in the next few years? Let's get into it. The first and most important thing is that the Celtics have become expensive. Very expensive. If you add the salaries of the Celtics core, Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis alone for this season, you'll get a figure that's around $120 million, and that's just 3 dudes. If you add in all 15 players, there's a high probability they'll cross not just the salary cap, but the luxury tax and the second apron. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the accountant talk, but basically what you need to know is because of the new CBA, teams that spend way too much money will have to spend even more money in taxes. And with the amount the Celtics will be spending, let's just say the tax collectors will be the ones with the new biggest contracts. And even though the Celtics are already losing money, they'll lose a lot more privileges with it, primarily mid-level exceptions. When Boston crosses their threshold, they won't be able to sign players if they don't have the complete cap space for them. They also can't sign buyout or waived players, and they can't do cash in trades. And these are just some of the limitations. So if there really is this much hassle with paying so much, why are they still doing it? The 2023 to 2024 Boston Celtics were so good that they had the highest offensive rating by a team in one season in NBA history. But it's not sustainable, and it's only going to get worse in the future. The Boston Celtics are only going to have a couple of years left where they can afford to actually pay all these guys. The CBA is going to keep punishing them until eventually the only way the Celtics will be able to escape is to either trade their beloved Brown or Tatum, essentially breaking up their championship core and losing one of the top 10 players in the league. But that possible breakup isn't the main threat to their championship window. You see, the true reason the Celtics won the finals in 2024 was because of their depth. That year, the Boston Celtics had the highest net rating by a team off the bench. But look at number 2 in the league. Are you freaking kidding me? Everyone else is trash compared to their bench players. Basically, their bench is so good that if it was a team of its own, it'd be better than half the league. All this translates to the Celtics having one of the best, if not the best depth in the league. And losing that depth is sure to happen due to the large contracts of the Jays. Soon enough, the new CBA will force them to trade away key role players, just like the Nuggets did with Bruce Brown and KCP. And with that, the Celtics championship window will be closed. But it's still going to take a few years before this happens. And for those few years that their core stays together, the Celtics are going to be a threat. Since this season started, the Celtics have had 20 matchups against Eastern Conference teams, and they've only lost 3 times. The only major threats to the Celtics are the Cavs, who are on a crazy run this year, and the Knicks, who are supposed to be the second or third best team in the East. The Celtics ran them over while tying the record for the most threes in a game in NBA history. This is how good the Boston Celtics are. So realistically speaking, spending this much money to keep this team together is a win-win situation. At the very most, they become a dynasty, again. At the very least, they win one more chip. So I'd say it's a good investment. But the real question on everyone's mind, are Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown worth these massive contracts? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no, but no, they're not. At least not for a while. Yes, both of them are borderline top 10 players, but borderline top 10 players don't usually get the largest contracts in NBA history. At the end of the day, the Jays' contracts were simply a business decision by the Celtic front office to continue a very successful team. And so far, it's freaking working. We'll see how they fare in the postseason this year. Money can't buy happiness, but let's see if it can buy another championship.